You know that t-shirt you're wearing? Ever thought about what it really is? It's not just a piece of clothing. It's a key that can unlock the secrets of our entire global economy. Seriously. Today, we're going to follow the incredible journey of a simple t-shirt, from a tiny cotton seed all the way to your closet. And by doing that, we're going to figure out how the whole world of business works. Okay, you ready? Let's get into it.
Yeah, think about it. The journey of that single shirt. It's like a miniature version of the entire world of business. And I promise you, by the end of this, you're going to look at this super common, everyday thing and see a much bigger story. A story about how our whole world is connected and how it all works.
All right, before we jump on that journey and start following that first thread of cotton, let's just zoom out for a sec. We need to get one basic idea down first. Think about everything you do in a day. Everything. From brushing your teeth to your job to making dinner. It turns out all of it, every single action, can be sorted into one of two big buckets. And understanding these two buckets, that's kind of the first step to understanding everything else.
So here they are. On one side, you've got your economic activities. This is the stuff you do to earn a living, right? To make money. Think about a teacher in a school. They're getting paid for their work. That's economic. But then on the other side, you have non-economic activities. These are the things we do for personal satisfaction, for love, for duty, things that don't have a price tag. So that same teacher helping their own kid with homework at night, that's non-economic. See the difference? One is about your livelihood and adds to the country's economy. The other is about, well, just life.
Okay, so where does our t-shirt fit into all this? Well, this is where it gets really cool. The story of how that shirt is made, it's like a perfect map of the three major sectors that power literally any economy on the planet. So check this out. It all kicks off in the primary sector. This is all about taking stuff directly from nature. For our t-shirt, that's a farmer planting a seed and harvesting raw cotton. Simple enough, right? But you can't wear a ball of cotton, so that brings us to the secondary sector. This is the manufacturing part, where factories take that raw cotton, spin it, weave it, and turn it into our actual finished t-shirt. And then what? The shirt exists, but it's not in your closet yet. That's where the tertiary sector comes in. This is the service sector. Think of all the stores, the trucks, the advertising, everything that gets that finished shirt from the factory into your hands. It's the engine that connects everything.
Now these sectors, they aren't just, abstract concepts on a chart. They're made up of people, real people doing different kinds of work. So let's do this. Let's step inside our imaginary t-shirt company and meet the crew. We're going to see the three main ways people actually earn a living in this whole system.
Okay, get this. First, you have the entrepreneur, the person who started the whole company. They're in business. They're taking a huge risk, right? They put up their own money, but if it works, they get all the profit. Then you've got someone like a freelance graphic designer they hire to create a cool logo. That person is a professional. They have specialized skills, and they charge a fee for their expertise. Less risk, but their reward is that fee, not the company's profit. And finally, you have the person on the factory floor sewing the shirts. They're in employment. They get a regular salary, they know what they're earning, and they have basically zero financial risk. See? Business, profession, employment. Three totally different ways to be part of the story, and all of them are absolutely essential.
All right, our t-shirt is made. It exists. We did it. Well, not quite, because now we have a whole new problem, maybe the biggest one yet. How does this t-shirt get from a factory floor, maybe thousands of miles away, into your hands? That massive, massive challenge. Well, that's where the world of commerce steps in.
You can think of commerce as this giant, essential bridge. On one side of the canyon, you have the producer, our t-shirt factory. On the other side, you have you, the customer. Commerce is everything that happens on that bridge to connect the two. And that bridge is held up by two huge pillars. One is trade. That's just the basic buying and selling. The other, and this is the really cool part, is something called aids to trade. These are all the services that make trade even possible.
Honestly, the best way to understand these aids to trade is to think of them as problem solvers. Imagine our t-shirt is on a journey, but there are all these giant roadblocks in its way. The official term is hindrances. Each aid to trade is like a special tool designed to smash one of those roadblocks. Let's go through them one by one.
Okay, roadblock number one, place. Our t-shirt gets made in a factory in, say, one city in one country. But you, the person who wants to buy it, could be anywhere else on the planet. How in the world do you solve that giant gap?
Transportation. It sounds simple, but it's a massive coordinated dance of trucks, trains, ships, and planes. It's the system that physically moves our t-shirt across the world, completely demolishing that hindrance of place. Problem solved.
All right, next roadblock, time. Factories are most efficient when they run all year long, churning out t-shirts. But let's be real, most of us are buying t-shirts in the spring and summer. So what do you do with all those shirts made in November? Where do they go?
This is where warehousing comes to the rescue. Warehouses are basically time machines for products. They safely store all those t-shirts made in the off-season, keeping them pristine until the demand heats up. It perfectly solves the hindrance of time, making sure the shirt is ready the exact moment you want it.
Okay, so our shirt made it across the world and it's waiting in a local warehouse. We're so close. But think about it. There are thousands of t-shirt brands out there, all screaming for your attention. How do you, the customer, even know that our specific t-shirt exists? This is a huge roadblock, the hindrance of knowledge.
And that's the job of advertising. Through social media, TV, billboards, you name it, advertising is the messenger. It cuts through the noise to tell you, hey, this awesome t-shirt is here and here's why you want it. It closes that information gap and solves the hindrance of knowledge.
But you know, the world is a risky place. What if there's a fire at the factory, or a shipment of t-shirts gets lost in a storm at sea, or a warehouse gets robbed? All that time, money, and effort could just poof, disappear. That's a terrifying level of risk. How does a business not get completely wiped out by something like that?
The answer is insurance. It's a genius idea, really. The t-shirt company pays a small, predictable fee, a premium, to an insurance company. In exchange, the insurance company takes on the big, unpredictable risk. So if a disaster happens, they cover the loss. It's how businesses remove that paralyzing hindrance of risk and can sleep at night.
And finally, the last and maybe most obvious roadblock, money. Let's face it, none of this, the farming, the factory, the shipping, the advertising, none of it happens for free. It all needs cash to get going and to keep going. This hindrance of finance is where banking comes in. Banks provide the loans, the credit, the ability to make payments. They are the financial fuel that keeps this entire global engine running.
So there you have it. We followed our one little t-shirt all the way from the farm to a potential customer. Now that we see how it works for one product, let's zoom the camera all the way out and look at the different kinds of businesses that make up the whole landscape.
You know, when you think of business, you might picture giant, towering corporations. But the real backbone of many economies? It's actually the little guys, the micro, small, and medium enterprises, or MSMEs. These are the true engines of the economy. They create a ton of jobs and make thousands of different products. And when they officially register, they get access to all sorts of perks like lower interest loans and tax breaks, which really helps them compete and grow.
So what actually separates a micro business from a small one? It's simpler than you might think. It really just boils down to how much money they've invested in their equipment. You know, their machinery and tools. A micro business has the smallest investment. As they grow and invest more, they graduate to being a small business, and then a medium one. It's basically a way to classify them by size, and each category gets different kinds of support.
So there it is, from a single tiny cottonseed to a sprawling, complex global network. The journey of one t-shirt really does tell the story of our entire economic world. It's all in there. So the next time you put on a t-shirt, maybe you'll see it a little differently. And it makes you wonder, right? What other secrets are hiding in the everyday objects all around you?